Hey everyone, it's Swapnil here. We're bringing this another interview series for you, and hope you find this one really, really helpful. I'm sure you will do. As usual, if you've not watched this before, basically what we go through is we talk about the TAP system and how it's actually helped Ricky here. And Ricky has a fairly large school, and basically what he's going to share is some awesome tips towards the end of the video. So make sure you stick around because them tips I'm pretty sure are going to be very, very helpful. Just wanted to introduce you. Thank you, Ricky, for taking your time out and spending some time here with me. So firstly, do you want to just kind of explain a little bit for anyone that's listening as to who you are and where you're from and a little bit of background?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. So originally, I'm born and bred in Scotland, and then I came down to Leeds for university and decided to stay here. This is where I operate my martial arts school from. Currently, we have close to 500 students, and as well as being having my own school, I also look after the Premier Martial Arts franchise in the UK. Globally, between the US, Canada, and the UK, we have over 100 schools. And in the UK, we have 7 schools at the moment, one of which is mine. My second location is opening up at the end of March, and I have 2 more opening by the end of the year. All right, so that's pretty much my year planned out for me right there.
I think that's going to be a pretty busy year, but it's going to be a great year for sure.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So what areas are you opening it up in?
So we're looking at the second location is in Leeds, is in the other side of Leeds, and then we're looking at Blackpool as well, and the fourth location is we're trying to decide between a couple of locations at the moment, so we're not going to disclose that yet. But yeah,
of course, yeah. It's just keep it. It's still really exciting though, like getting your school and you 500 members at the moment with the current one. So obviously, like you've been through a lot of heartache, if you want to call that, with growing schools. So getting to that stage and now being able to open multiple schools must be a great feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely, yes. I mean, it has been a long journey from how long has it been? It's been my full-time academy's been up and running for over 13 years now.
Wow.
And it has been a journey of a lot of mistakes that I've learned and made along the way. I learned from and made along the way, and just some great moments as well. But yeah, definitely, it's been a long.
Well, what kind of martial arts are you teaching, and what is it that you're doing?
So we teach a mixture of taekwondo, kickboxing, and Krav Maga, and we take the best of each system and put it into our own. And that's what we teach, in all our premier schools, really. So we teach the traditional aspects of the martial arts through our taekwondo curriculum. We teach the fitness element of it through our kickboxing. And then obviously the self-defense part through our Krav Maga curriculum. So, I personally believe it's a great system and it keeps the kids and the adults interested in what we're doing and so they get the benefits in the long term.
That's pretty good. I mean, so you're covering quite a lot of different bases, aren't you, really, with it? So it's quite spectrum. So I'm just curious myself here. So are you doing them classes? Do you involve everything in one kind of class, or are you separating do you saying this
in per class we have different sections of the class that is broken down to, like, say, the taekwondo kicks and the kickboxing combinations or sparring, and then the Krav Maga techniques and drills. But our class plans are set out for across the whole year, basically, so that our instructors know exactly what they're teaching, when they're teaching it, how they're teaching it, from a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis.
Nice. That must be that's probably something that you learn as coming along, like to systemize it in some kind of way. We'll cover this kind of stuff a bit later on, but yes, that's really good. So let me just ask you a question. So before we started working together, what kind of marketing were you doing? What was it? What kind of worked? What did you find that stopped working, or
Well, I mean, we did. I mean, we do a lot of different types of marketing. I always say to the other school owners that you have to have 5 different formats of marketing that's going to bring leads in that works for you day in, day out, or week in, week out. So, you know, as usual, we were doing social media and digital marketing. We were also doing birthday parties and flyer drops, email marketing, you name it, we pretty much do it or did it anyway. Yeah.
So what would you, so before you started using this TAP system, what would you say was the struggles before it, or what were you finding that wasn't working? So why did you come on board to do the TAP basically?
Basically, you know, as we're in a customer service or customer-based business, so therefore lead generation is our main business. So and that was it. We just weren't getting enough numbers, and also I found that my staff were kind of spread across all these different like promotional booths and birthday parties and doing a whole load of lead generation activities that left them possibly, I dare say, a little bit tired and burnt out. So I was looking for a solution that would bring in the leads that I need or we need, but without too much being labor intensive.
Sure, definitely. So how would you describe this TAP system to someone if they've never heard of it? I mean, what has it helped you with, really, would you say?
I would say that it's definitely helped me with getting the numbers in terms of leads. I mean, a tremendous amount of leads have come through recently on a much lower budget than we originally used as well. And also, I mean, as you know, because you created it, the genius of it is how it's automated, how it gets dropped into our phone, so that we can, you know, call them back in a timely manner. And also, you know, with the spreadsheet and everything, it keeps just everything in one place pretty much, and it's just a great way for me as a school owner to keep track of where my staff are in terms of responding to calls, responding to leads. You know, so it's great for organizing your leads and also just creating them initially.
Now, definitely, I think that's probably a big, huge thing for anyone that's listening. Like, you know, when you're doing like lead generation, a lot of people don't realize, okay, they're spending 500-600 quid maybe on ads, but you know, what kind of return are they getting? Is it how many leads are coming? So with this tracking sheet that we created, that you've got, so you can actually see on a monthly basis, okay, we've had 100 leads come in, or you know, and then you can look, okay, we spent 500 quid or 600, whichever it is. It makes budgeting a lot more easier, doesn't it? I can imagine.
No, definitely, yes, and also, you know, I always look at the stats and conversion rates for my guys, and it's about, you know, if we have 500 leads, how many are we actually converting to appointments, and how many appointments are actually signing up? And if we look at the conversions, the rates between each one, then we know where our strengths are and where our weaknesses and where we need to work on. So without that initial spreadsheet, the log in terms of the leads and prospects, then we're not going to be able to do that.
No, definitely. Sometimes it shows you the other problems you've got that you can fix, you know, in the day. But it's good. Sometimes it's very rarely that I've ever done it, even with my agency, that, you know, we do get a lot of leads come through. Then the business realizes, oh shit, we need to improve this section. So it's actually good in that way. So otherwise you'll never grow really that way if you don't see what areas are working, and you always have to tweak in a business, don't you? So
yes, you do, yeah.
So stats wise, what kind of results have you had from this TAP system so far?
In the last couple of months, we've had over 500 leads, just looking at my notes there. So over 500 leads from it across the kids campaign that we've been doing, and also the ladies campaign. Through that, we've had in just 2 months, in terms of sign-up fees, equipment sales, and initial tuition fees, we've made over £20,000 from just that, and increased our billing by over £7,000 monthly.
Oh, that's brilliant! That's great. I mean, like, this is the first time I'm hearing all the stats, so that's brilliant. That's so for me is. The thing is that what I love about this is you've increased this by so much, but how much has your ad spend has not been a lot.
No, it hasn't. It's actually, I mean, we used to spend about £1,500 to £2,000 in ad spends in social media alone, and we weren't getting close to the same results as we get now. And now our budget is more than halved.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So you're probably saying spending say 700 or something like that, and then you've increased your billing to $7,000, and you made about 20 grand on top as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's a great return on investment as well, isn't it? You would say for sure.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's really, really good. I mean, like, so for anyone that's listening, like, when it's sometimes, getting these kind of results, it depends on each school, in each area and stuff. But, is this also, is the ability to track stuff. That's a really, really big thing, isn't it? Tracking is, I find that a lot of school owners don't do as well. And then this is why they kind of feel like they're just spending ads and there's nothing working and stuff. And, you're obviously tracking very well, so you know all this stuff. So it's, what kind of tip would you give to someone about tracking or anything? I know we're going to cover tips a bit later, but I'm just going off the cuff.
In terms of tracking, is just use some sort of Google sheet or Excel spreadsheet, and just make sure you update it every single day. I mean, the fact that the TAP system actually is automated takes that out, but just make sure you look at your stats every single day and discuss that with your staff at your staff meetings. I mean, we do that twice a week on a Monday and Wednesday.
Brilliant. Oh, that's awesome. I'm really happy to see them results. That's great. I'm sure the thing about this is that once you've had this set up, it'll keep growing. And then it's like, a lot of people don't realize with the ads, when you have ads, Facebook is such a clever machine that once you start getting more leads, Facebook understands a lot, and it starts getting you even better leads for sometimes cheaper as well for the longer you do it. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. I'm sure, once you get your other schools, implementing the same system is going to replicate pretty much the same results. So it's going to be awesome.
And that's part of the reason why I came to you, because we needed that kind of that system for the new schools as well.
Definitely. So what would you say how is this different to anything out there at the moment, would you say, the TAP system?
I would say that, first of all, it's actually getting results. Because, we've tried lots of different things over the years, and you get different results. Some being okay, some being just waste of money. But consistently on a weekly basis through the TAP system, we are getting great results. Like last weekend, for example, we obviously work out our leads as soon as they come in, but not that I don't really make my staff do that over the weekend because they need time off. So, but just on from Saturday to Sunday, we had 19 leads come in. So on Monday we had 19 leads to call. Whereas in the past, we probably had 19 leads from social media over maybe 2 weeks, but we did that in 2 days. So our intro and appointment calendar is packed, is full, and it's been full for the last 2 months. Brilliant. Even before the Christmas period, which historically is always a quiet period, it was still really busy. And the surprising thing this time round is actually in January, it's usually more adults that sign up or inquire, and less kids. But for this month, it's actually flipped the other way, and we have a lot more children, not them inquiring, but the parents inquiring for them. So just goes to show that the how powerful and effective the ads have been. Right. But not only just getting the leads in, but as I said, it's just the whole organization of it, and how the automation and how simple it is to use. And it enables me, even if I'm not at the school, I can keep track of everything that's going on, which is going to be even more important when I have 2, 3, 4 schools up and running at the same time.
That's awesome. I mean, like, we've only been working 2-3 months at most, really. So it's that's awesome results. That is. It's so good to see. I mean, Yeah, this like December. Normally, people say in December, and I've done it with someone else where it was in summertime, and the tap system just it works. It just it's just having a good offer and making sure that you use the algorithm right and put it in front of the right people. People will take it. It's people always say, oh, people they don't have money to spend and stuff, but you just need to put that in front of the right person and have the right offer. They're all out there, so there's loads of people. So what would you say, on average, roughly, members wise, how much has grown? I know we haven't really covered that, but what I know it's a hard question to say. You know, using the tap system, would you say you've kind of added another 100 odd or something like that, or what would you say?
I wouldn't say 100 because we were. I would say probably about. It sounds quite low when I say it, like 10%. But 10% to us is like four. You know, like if we were at 450 before, we're
Yeah.
close to 500 now. Then that's and that's partly because we are pretty close to maxing out,
Mm.
and only certain classes available. So if we were just a new school and we had an open timetable for people to slot into, then we would have grown by a lot more. But we had to actually be because of the amount of leads that's come in, we've actually and the lack of spaces we have in our classes, we've actually had to put people on a waiting list or actually turn them away.
Wow.
So, and also bear in mind that our classes are 2 classes minimum. They have to commit to 2 classes minimum a week. And some people that come in and say they only can do once a week, again, we have to turn them away as well. So you know, as I said, it's if we had the space in our classes, it would be a lot more than you know 50 growth across the last 2 months.
That's awesome. But that's brilliant. I mean, to be honest, I've got to give some credit to you, of course. I mean, you know, in the day, it's not all just me. It's my bit's only just showing you the system and making that implement it. So, you know, getting them kind of results also comes down to you a lot. And it's been awesome to work with you, to be honest. So I've really enjoyed it. So, and I know we're going to carry on working anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't want like this. I know we've been going on a little while. So for anyone that's listening, so what I want to kind of finish off kind of with this interview is literally some awesome tips that we can give to people. What 3 or 4 tips you can think of for someone that is maybe around the 100 mark or somewhere around there with members or trying to grow? Like, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Well, where do I start? Well, first of all, is whatever marketing activity or whatever budget you had to get you to 100 is not going to get you to 150 or 200, because obviously the more students you have, then your retention rate or your attrition rate is going to be higher. So you're going to have to get more people to cover for the people who leave. So therefore, you're going to have to work a little bit harder and maybe just put that little bit more money aside to put into your marketing. One of the important things that I found is the advice I would give to my younger self is have systems in place. Systems for absolutely every single part of your business. You know, especially from if you look at the student experience from your website, what does that look like? You know, is it easy to navigate? All those things. You know, what happens when somebody say fills in the lead gen form? You know, do you get back to them immediately? And do your staff have a script of some sort to follow? Because that's probably one of the most important parts of getting students to book in or potential students to book in. So if you leave that to chance in terms of your staff knowing what to say on the phone, then you're putting a huge part of your business to just chance, basically. So again, systems, scripts. You know, that to me, it changed my business, really. Especially if you're not going to be like an owner operator and you just manage the business, then you need to know that your staff are doing everything the way it should be done, rather than putting it to chance or leaving it to chance, as it were. So that's the first one.
Systems is huge. Yeah, because some staff come and go sometimes. You can't really help it. You know, but if you have a system or like a process that you can literally just give to someone, makes a huge difference. Also takes a weight off your shoulders in the sense that you don't have to keep retraining them, and you just give them like a manual if you want, or anything. I know there's different kind of ways to do it, but yeah, it's really, really good point, that is.
Yeah, so systems is the first one. And then I periodically look at your student experience. As I said, from the inquiry to actually coming in for the first lesson. And what do they see when they come in for the first lesson? Do they see a well, clean, organized school? Or is it chaotic? Does a member of staff know that they're coming in and they greet them by name at the door? Things like that, I'm very particular about how clean and tidy my school is, because at the end of the day, we're selling discipline. And if your school is chaotic and it's untidy and it's dirty, then subconsciously you're telling your prospects that we're selling discipline, but we're not really that disciplined ourselves, because we can't even keep a desk tidy. So that's really important. And how it smells as well, because as a martial arts school, people sweat. What do we do to make sure that it doesn't smell bad? At least, make sure it smells clean.
Yeah. No, that's a big one. I agree with that. When I used to do martial arts when I was younger, that was one of the things that you do notice is even though you tried as much as you can, but sometimes you can't help it. But yeah, but it does make a big difference. You want to make people wanting to come back. That can deter them a bit, can't it? So
yeah, definitely. I mean, because if you look at places like busy gyms like David Lloyd's and all these high-end gyms, they have lots of people sweating. They have lots of people come through the door, but they always smell good when you go in. So if they do it, us as martial arts instructors and school owners who want to offer a high level of service, then we've got to do the same.
Brilliant. I like that. So what's your third tip?
Okay. Third one is to is retention. To retention, because when we think about growth, we always just think about just getting as many leads in and signing people up, and then but you got to make sure that your retention is high as well, because it's always a lot cheaper to keep a student than it is to get a new one. And part of that is having well organized, high energy and fun classes. But as I said to my instructors, it's not just about just teaching those classes. It's also about genuinely caring about your students. Like you, I know that you genuinely care about your clients, because you can tell by the way you talk to them. Same with teaching martial arts, even more so with martial arts and kids, is be interested in what they do outside of martial arts, build rapport, and show that you care, rather than them just being a number. That's to me that's why we started teaching martial arts in the first place, is because we felt the benefits of what martial arts has done for us. But after a while, when you're running a school, all that kind of gets lost, because you have to do your accounts, your marketing, staff training, and then you kind of lose sight of why you started. Go back to, always know your why, and always go back to the reasons why you started, and make sure that your instructors are reminded of that as well.
Definitely. That's huge. That's a big, big tip, I think. Definitely. Because if you don't, I regularly do this for myself. It's literally sitting back and saying, okay, why am I actually doing what I'm doing? It's like, it is very easy for anyone, it's like martial arts business or any business really. You get into the rut and then you start hating what you're doing, or you start going, oh, this is a bit shit and all this kind of stuff, but then it's just that this is where your systems helps with that, once you have that system, it kind of relieves you a bit of that stress. And then sitting back and realizing, okay, why did I even start this business in the first place? Who's it I'm helping? Like in the martial arts, you're helping kids, you're helping adults so much. You're changing lives, really. So it's a huge, huge thing. So it had a massive impact for me. That's why I got into this niche so much anyway. So, but yeah, no, it's brilliant. I'm loving seeing the growth. These are awesome tips, by the way. Thank you for sharing these.
You're welcome.
Really, really good. I'm sure anyone that's listening to this will get lots of value from that. So I'm going to finish it off with one last question, which I ask everyone, is literally, So if someone's on the fence of trying to get a similar system or even my system, I don't mind as long as someone's implementing systems, to grow the business. What would you say to anyone that's thinking about working with me or implementing the T.A.P system?
Uh, go for it. I was on the fence for a while, and I regret not having started earlier. And that's because the results are almost instant, I would say. We took a couple of weeks to set up, but after that, the leads were just coming flying in. So if you want to change your business, you want to grow your business, remember, if you need customers, you need leads, and you've helped me so much with that, and then staying on top of it, and you're always there to give me your time, extra time if I needed. You've been so helpful, and not only that, you're actually getting me results, which you did promise, and you kept that promise. I've done tons of other stuff before, and they haven't even been close to the results that you've got me. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the nice words as well. So really, really appreciate it. For me, it's like, I'm just happy it's getting you amazing results, and it's helping you, and that helps me. So I'm happy to hear that. So thank you, Ricky. I really appreciate your time on this, and just stick on after I finish off. And anyone else that is watching this, I hope you found this useful. Make sure if you don't implement the T.A.P system, no worries. But what I want you to understand from this interview is literally you need some kind of lead generation system in your business to generate leads consistently. Otherwise, you'll just get because normally what happens, even this happens in my old business, is that you'd get an influx leads, you get sales, then people let off the gas. In the sense of like they go, oh yes, all's okay, and then always happens in business, you'll go crashing back down. You don't have a system that's generating you leads consistently, then you're always like the phrase, you're always in that rat race or whichever, on that hamster wheel. So basically, having something similar to this system gets you out the business, so that's just consistently bringing you leads. Then you can do what you enjoy, teaching. So
so one more tip. If that,
yeah, sure.
Time is the when it comes to budgeting, what I've in terms of my experience with other martial arts school owners, is that the first thing that gets dropped is marketing when it going gets tough, when the budget, when the cash isn't coming in. But that is definitely not the case. You cannot do that. So, a lot of people say to me, and I've recommended your courses to other school owners. They're like, oh, I can't afford to do that. I can't. Well, find the money from somewhere to do it, because that's what's going to change your whether it's one of the tips I gave to one of the school owners I was talking to was, this is how much Swapnil's courses. Do some martial arts birthday parties, to create that income to sign on to the course, and then you're going to get a lot more leads, and your business is going to grow. So whatever it is whatever reason that you have for not marketing or not doing the course, well, I would genuinely say that it's not valid. Basically, if you want your business to grow, you got to get on board with Swapnil. I don't want to hard sell this too much.
No, I don't mind. Carry on.
But in general, even if it's not, as you said, going marketing and learning from you, don't let the lack of funds be a reason for not marketing, because you can always find the funds from somewhere. And if you do your marketing right, you're going to get the leads in. You're going to make money off your investment, as long as you do it correctly. So don't ever, when the funds are low and your cash flow is low, don't cut the marketing. You've got to go the opposite way. You've got to invest more and do more.
Definitely. I agree. I mean, like if you look at especially the results you mentioned, and ROI from this kind of stuff to that is, you get a lot of return back. So, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. So if anyone's listening, message me, even if you just want to chat, I don't mind, so, thanks for all the awesome tips. Really good ones. I enjoyed this. So thanks for your time, Ricky. And I appreciate that. Hang around. And then everyone else, have a great day or night or whenever you're listening to this. And speak to you all soon.